My name is Danielle Neves. I'm here from Tulsa Public Schools, where I serve as an instructional leadership director, specifically supporting high schools. But I've actually been here at this annual conference many times since 2014 when I joined Team Tulsa supporting teaching and learning. So excited to be here and I'm happy to be part of wrapping up this conference. So what we're going to do over our lunchtime here as we finish up is we will hear from each of our school officials as an opportunity for them to share a little bit about their impressions of the conference as well as what they talked about in their team meeting. And I'm going to actually kick us off with some reflections from the school official caucus yesterday afternoon. And so while I think you guys teachers were at their reunions, the school officials got together and were able to really talk about first what excited us, what people were feeling really, really inspired by here at this conference. And heard several people talk about the passion that is so evident from every single teacher in this room. From those folks who were on the panels to the people you talked to at breakfast or at lunch, really understanding that the units that you've written and the work that you've done comes from your heart and that connects directly to your students. And that was really, really palpable in the conversations. We also spoke about student voice. First, and how impressed we were with all of the students on the panel, of course, who were incredibly, incredibly impressive. But also the fact that in the units, when you talk about the work that your students are doing, when we look at the student work that was on display, when we hear from the panelists, we're seeing how students are talking about themselves, their identity, their community, the things that are important to them and their own development, and that is absolutely critical if we're going to accomplish what we're all at work to do every day with our students. The third thing that was really important that we saw across the board, and actually this was the first year I've heard this so clearly, was about how the units that the teachers are developing and that you're teaching with your students really integrate wellness, identity, and community. That came through over and over again. And as we all work in our separate districts all across the country to support our students' development and to support them through challenges that we're facing in the world and in our society, it's really, really not only refreshing, but also inspiring to know that teachers are intentionally attending to who our students are as they're applying this academic knowledge that they've built through the intensive summer program. We were really interested in thinking about ways to continue to scale this kind of work, both through local institutes for the cities like Tulsa, who have a local institute, but also thinking about what's the impact that our fellows can have on our teaching force and on teaching and learning within the context of our school districts. So what are the ways to bring together teachers in communities of practice, to have fellows lead district professional learning with other teachers where they're not only talking about their units, but really applying the learnings from this experience and how that has changed their teaching practice. And then we also started to talk about what are the opportunities to continue to bring in more and more fine arts teachers and electives teachers to really think about how this model of learning and teaching can really expand the work that they are doing. We wanted to also think about what are things that we wanted to offer as thoughts for the future as from the perspective of the school officials. And so one piece is we'd love to see a compilation of some of these strategies and approaches that you are all implementing in your units. So some that I noted just listening to folks yesterday are things like the sit spot, or noticings and journaling, using video and photos as text, right? Those are strategies that any teacher can use, even if they're not teaching all the content that's in your unit. So really thinking about how do we actually begin to collect as a larger community all of those great ideas and then leverage the teachers in this room and the fellows who have been here in previous years to begin to teach other teachers how to bring those things to life. Several districts talked about wanting to connect with other cities that have locals to really talk about what does sustainability look like, especially for our long-term local institutes, both in terms of funding, in terms of teachers, in terms of really keeping the program going year after year after year. And then finally, the school officials would like to ask for future conferences. We'd like some more time together. We were really able to begin to build connections about what's working in different places and would love to have more opportunities to do that throughout the weekend as we're touching points with our teachers and understanding both what they need and then balancing that with thinking about what's going on in our districts in terms of strategy, accountability, and other initiatives that are happening that can be very well aligned with the work that happens here.